Now that you have built up that incredible functional leg strength right from the comfort of your living room chair, you are finally ready to put those muscles to use. Because the entire point of retiring in Florida is to actually enjoy this beautiful, active lifestyle, whether that means walking to the pool or navigating a busy, crowded patio restaurant with your friends. But underneath that beautiful sunshine, there is a silent, terrifying fear that haunts so many seniors the moment they step off their front porch: the fear of falling. It happens in a split second. Your toe catches on a slightly uneven paver in the driveway, your arms flail, your heart drops into your stomach, and you barely manage to catch yourself. I hear about this sheer terror from my patients every single week, because you know that a sudden stumble like that doesn't just threaten a broken bone, it threatens your entire independence. And those unique daily hazards are everywhere. It's the transition from a thick living room rug to slippery cooling tiles, or shifting your weight to pull open a heavy sliding glass lanai door. But I want to reassure you right now, losing your balance is not an inevitable part of getting older. It is simply a mechanical glitch in your system that we can absolutely fix. But to understand why that tiny crack in the sidewalk suddenly feels like an invisible trap, we have to look inside your nervous system to see the dangerous communication breakdown happening between your feet and your brain. To see that dangerous communication breakdown happening between your feet and your brain, we have to talk about a biological phenomenon I call the proprioception delay. Most people assume that perfect balance comes entirely from the inner ear, but your true balance actually starts right here in your feet, relying on thousands of microscopic sensors called proprioceptors. Think of these sensors exactly like high-speed internet cables. Their only job is to constantly fire signals up to your brain, telling it exactly where your body is in space and what kind of surface you are standing on. But as we age, and especially when we spend a lot of time sitting in the air conditioning to escape the heat, these microscopic sensors literally start to fall asleep. So, when your foot hits that slightly uneven paver in the driveway, your sleeping sensors try to send a warning, but instead of a lightning-fast message, it becomes a sluggish, delayed signal. That sluggish signal creates a massive communication breakdown. Your brain still receives the message that your foot is rolling, but it receives it a fraction of a second too late. By the time your brain finally fires the command back down to your ankle muscles to tighten up and stabilize the joint, gravity has already taken over. That is exactly why your arms instinctively flail out. Your upper body is desperately trying to catch your center of gravity because your feet failed to send the early warning. I want you to hear this loud and clear. You are not clumsy, and your legs are not just giving out on you. You are simply operating on a delayed connection. If we can speed that communication line back up, your ankle will instantly correct itself the very millisecond it touches an uneven surface, completely preventing the stumble before it starts. The amazing news is that your nervous system is highly adaptable. We don't need medication or surgery. We just need the right mechanical stimulation to turn those sensors back on. Now that you can physically see how this delayed signal is stealing your stability, our first step is to wake those ankle sensors back up and completely reboot your body's early warning system. To completely reboot your body's early warning system, we have to physically stimulate the nerves in your feet and ankles, but we must do it in a completely safe, zero-risk environment. I don't want you practicing balance in the middle of a room where you might feel vulnerable. I want you right at your kitchen counter. You are going to hold on with both hands. This is Protocol 1, the countertop rocker. By holding on to a solid surface, you instantly eliminate the fear of falling, which allows your nervous system to actually relax and learn. Right now, those microscopic sensors in your ankles are asleep. We are going to force them to wake up by constantly shifting your weight forward and backward. With your hands securely on the counter, I want you to slowly press through the balls of your feet and rise up onto your toes. Keep your posture tall and do not lean your chest over the counter. The moment your heels leave the floor, you create a controlled moment of instability. Your brain instantly panics just a tiny bit, and it demands information from your ankles. Hold that top position for just 1 full second. You are physically forcing those sleeping proprioceptors to turn back on and broadcast their signal. Now, slowly lower your heels back to the floor. But we aren't stopping there. I want you to smoothly rock your weight backward onto your heels and actively lift your toes off the ground. By rocking backward, you awaken the sensors on the back of the joint. You also activate the crucial muscles on the front of your shin that physically lift your foot over uneven pavement so you don't trip. Rock up onto the toes, pause. Rock back onto the heels, pause. It is a smooth, continuous, wave-like motion. Try to do 10 rocks forward and 10 rocks backward every single morning while you wait for your coffee to brew. It takes less than 2 minutes of your day, but in those 2 minutes, you have completely upgraded your body's internet connection. You have transformed a sluggish, delayed warning system into a high-speed, instant reaction network. When you let go of that counter, your feet will suddenly feel glued to the floor. Your brain finally knows exactly where you are in space, and that terrified, wobbly feeling simply vanishes. You are no longer guessing where your foundation is. Your ankles are now fully online, ready to instantly correct your foot the moment it hits an uneven Florida paver. By waking up your ankles, you have successfully rebooted your early warning system. But a warning isn't enough if your body's center of gravity isn't strong enough to catch you when you sway. By waking up your ankles, you have successfully rebooted your early warning system. But a warning isn't enough if your body's center of gravity isn't strong enough to catch you when you sway. And here is a surprising medical truth that most people don't realize. The most dangerous, devastating falls rarely happen when you are walking straight forward. They happen when you suddenly have to step sideways. It's dodging a grandchild's toy in the living room, stepping around the dog, or sidestepping a puddle on the pool deck. When you move laterally, your body weight violently shifts. If the muscles on the side of your hip, your lateral stabilizers, are weak from sitting, they simply collapse under the sudden pressure. We are going to rebuild that lateral catching power right now with Protocol 2, the lanai lateral shift. And just like before, we are doing this with zero risk. Find a sturdy, heavy chair, like a dining chair or a solid patio chair on your lanai. Stand behind it, feet shoulder-width apart, and hold on securely with both hands. Now I want you to slowly shift 100% of your body weight entirely over your right leg. Notice how the center of gravity has to move from the middle directly over that right hip. Once your weight is fully shifted, try to lift your left foot just 1 single millimeter off the floor. You aren't marching, you're just letting it hover. Look at the incredible mechanics happening here. The moment that left foot lifts, the muscle on the side of your right hip has to fire at maximum capacity to keep your pelvis level. You might feel your ankle shaking or your hip wobbling a bit. That is completely normal. That wobble is exactly what we want. That is the sound of your nervous system learning to catch you. Hold that hover for just 3 seconds, then place the foot back down, find your center, and slowly shift all of your weight over to the left leg. The secret here is to keep your spine perfectly straight. Do not lean your shoulders over. Make the massive muscles of your hips do all the heavy lifting, not your lower back. Try to do just 5 slow, controlled shifts on each side. By doing this, you are building the ultimate shock absorbers. You are teaching your hips to instantly lock in and support you the moment you step sideways. You no longer have to fear dodging that puddle or stepping around the dog. Your hips now have the lateral catching power to stop a sideways fall dead in its tracks. Your hips and ankles are now communicating perfectly to catch you when you sway sideways, which brings us to the final, ultimate test of balance, navigating the tight, crowded spaces of your everyday life. Your hips and ankles are now communicating perfectly to catch you when you sway sideways, which brings us to the final, ultimate test of balance: navigating the tight, crowded spaces of your everyday life. Think about your daily routine: walking down a narrow hallway or trying to squeeze between the tables at your favorite crowded patio restaurant requires a completely different type of balance. In these situations, your wide, comfortable stance is taken away from you. You are forced to walk with what we call a narrow base of support, which demands absolute real-time synchronization of your entire body. We are going to master this narrow stance right now with Protocol 3, the hallway tightrope. But remember our golden rule: we always practice with absolute zero-risk safety. I want you to stand in a hallway inside your home. Stand close enough to the wall that you can keep your fingertips lightly touching it the entire time. This is your safety net. Now, while touching the wall, slowly place your right heel directly in front of your left toe. Stand exactly as if you were walking on a tightrope. Keep your fingertips lightly on the wall and keep your eyes looking straight ahead. Do not look down at your feet. Now, try to hold this exact position for 10 seconds. Watch the masterpiece of human mechanics happening inside your body right now. Your newly awakened ankles, your strong hips, and your core are all synchronizing to keep you perfectly vertical. You will feel your ankles constantly micro-adjusting. You might sway a little bit left and right. That is perfect. That is the exact moment your nervous system is learning how to keep you upright. Once you hit 10 seconds, safely switch your feet. Put the left heel directly in front of the right toe. Breathe deeply, relax your shoulders, and let your body figure out the balance. By forcing these three systems to work together in real time, you are building an impenetrable defense against gravity. You are training your body to automatically correct itself before a fall even happens. By challenging your body to balance on this narrow tightrope, you have effectively bulletproofed your nervous system against the sudden, unpredictable stumbles of the real world.